So thinking and learning is based on the brain function. So these traditional IQ tests are so confounded as to not be effective for us, especially for kids who don't learn, like ADHD kids and kids with learning disabilities. So you look at them, you say they're just not that smart. So we can redefine intelligence based upon brain function. That's what I did with my colleague J.P. Das. Russ talked about Luria's perspective yesterday. We're going to talk a lot more about it today. So we reinvent the concept of intelligence, and we don't have achievement test questions. No information, similarities, arithmetic, vocabulary. None of that included. Because we want to measure thinking, not knowing. Did you want to say something?
Can I just step in for a second as a teacher? Yeah. So again, I was a special ed teacher and a general ed teacher. And when psychologists would do the tests on my students, and the WISC and the Woodcock-Johnson cognitive, and they would sit down with me, and a lot of it, when I was a special ed teacher, I understood it better. As a gen ed teacher, it was kind of like psychobabble for me. And they would go through their reports, and I would listen carefully, and at the end, they would say, so basically what we found out is this child has a reading problem. And I would be like, I know that. That's why I referred him to you. But they didn't tell me what to do, and I didn't have a sense of what was happening in the brain of that learner. And so how do I understand the brain of an ADHD kid? Not whether they can do well on a comprehension section of a test or not, but what does the ADHD brain look like, and how can I better impact it? So for me, a more quality assessment that actually gives me a picture that you're going to see today helps me provide interventions for the student, the parents, the general ed teacher in a way that we can all make sense out of, and then connects beautifully to what Russ has said all day yesterday. The test is part of the picture, but you want a test that gives you a good picture.